Welcome back to Ballers World Live. I want to say a special thanks to Anta America. You can go on antaamerica.com.
Yep.
You can use the promo code ESPN1, get a discount.
15% off.
Oh, man. And now we have a special guest in studio. He's, fastest person I've met. Okay?
Same.
Two-time Olympian. He trains Antonio Brown, Victor Oladipo, CP3.
Yep.
This guy is a beast, Mr. Speed Doctor, the Speed Doctor,
The one and only.
Nabi Fofanah.
Welcome, my man. Welcome.
Thank you for being in here, brother.
Yeah.
Thank
First,
you for having me.
we got to start out. How did you get the name Speed Doctor?
Well, the name actually came from a bunch of my friends that I used to kind of help out. I used to help out in getting them faster. So they would play other sports like football, basketball, and I kind of would just analyze every single part of their movement and kind of like, break it down like scientifically. So they thought it was kind of nerdy. So they started calling me, yo, you're like the Speed Doctor.
Like a doctor, yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Now, we learned that you've lived in so many different cultures, so many different places around the world. How do you think those have influenced you as a person and your career?
Oh, definitely that made me a well-rounded person. Like, it really made me more understanding of different cultures, and also just really makes you be able to relate to people better, of all different races and of the different religions, and it also kind of like makes you a little bit more. It expands your mindset.
Yes.
You're able to understand a
Traveling
lot
does
of
that.
different
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
Absolutely does. Yeah.
Well, you and I had a chance to talk a little bit, Nabie, obviously, before the show. And, one of the things that inspired me, we talk about this country and all the controversy that's going on with immigration laws, et cetera. You came here from West Africa,
Correct.
right? And, you had a chance to live in France, Canada, New York, probably, was it Brooklyn, if I recall? What part of
The Bronx.
The Bronx, yeah.
The Bronx.
Boogie down Bronx.
Boogie down.
it ain't easy to make it there. And here you are right now here on the West Coast in Los Angeles living your dream.
Yeah.
Can you take us through that process, how you got to this point, and how did you even get the name the Speed Doctor, most of all? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, the process definitely, it kind of like was one step at a time, going from living from Africa to moving to the Bronx for a year, and then to France, Paris for 3 years, and then Montreal for 3 years, and then after that back to the Bronx
You've
again
really been
for
all
17
over.
years.
Yeah.
All over the world,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So it was one of those things that every single part and everything you did kind of adds up to who you are now, and it also kind of makes you. It kind of guides the future of what you're going to be. What you were before is a big part of what's going to make you into the person you're going to be in the future.
Correct.
So with the name Speed Doctor, I had that idea for a while to go and get it and patent it, but it's crazy. The guy that actually had the name was a guy that had a company,
Selling drugs or something?
That's what I was saying. Someone had to say it. Everyone was saying it. Someone had to say it. Someone had to say it. Someone had to say it.
You know what's actually funny? The first time I actually pitched it to a few friends, they were like, nah, that's a bad idea.
Right.
You should not patent that. That's a horrible idea. I said, why? They're like, yeah, that kind of sounds like you're pushing drugs. I'm like, wait, is that because you do it?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You seem happy all the time. Is it?
But yeah, so I ended up chasing this guy down. He had this car company with the website and everything. So I told him, look, I'll pay you. Give me that name. So it took me 3 years to finally convince him to give me the name. So he finally gave me the name. I was on the road with Chris at the time. Gave me the name. I quickly went and patented it and just did every single thing that I need to secure the name because I love the name so much, And it's turned out that it was a name that everyone loves to say and repeat.
Yeah, I
I
love
get
it.
mad when someone has my Twitter handle. Like when I'm trying to get my own Twitter handle and someone has it, and you're like, man.
Yeah.
Now I got to pay to get it.
And now I did a little research on you, man, before you came out here, right? And one of the things I found amazing, you didn't start running until late in life, quote unquote, right? You were like 18 when you finally started, 17 when you finally started getting into track, right?
Oh yeah, I started very late. You know, it was pretty bad. I was pretty slow. So it is one of those things that it was kind of a challenge because I wanted to play football. That's really what I wanted to do, right? So my dad told me, hey, you should probably do track. And I said, no, I'm playing football. Next thing you know, I go on a track team, I try out, and I was just so bad that I was like, I got to get good at this. I got to get good at it. So, and then in the Bronx, growing up, if you're bad at anything, trust me.
You're going to hear about it.
You're going to hear about it.
They let you know you were
They're
slow.
going to let you know real fast.
Oh, all the jokes were coming.
You sorry. You slow. All that.
and I was not just bad. I was bad to the point where there were girls on the track team that were better.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
just running circles around you.
So it's one of those where
Yeah.
you got that challenge that you give yourself, and even got in a few fights. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
So
you got to knuckle up when it comes to fighting
yeah.
over who faster.
you know
But,
that.
and the cool thing is that you won out, right? You're an Olympian. You got you ran.
Yeah,
So you kind of can look at them like, I win.
Yeah,
Now-
we went to the
Now,
Olympics.
you were
not
Olympian, and we also talked about you ran against Usain Bolt, right?
I ended up running in one of the rounds against them.
Yeah. What was that like?
That's unbelievable. I mean, literally, it's like
Run next to a cheetah.
it's like imagine.
Did you see him?
A cheetah with the
Done
legs.
already?
It's like a cheetah with the legs of a giraffe.
Right.
It's dude is like,
Wow.
like it should be in the NBA.
Right.
That's
It's
like the
unbelievable.
best
Like 6'7"
analogy
Like
ever.
you running out there like
That's
a gazelle.
yeah.
It's the guy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like I was just back there with the best seat watching him.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, let's also a couple of questions I have. I mean, obviously you train some of the top athletes, right? And as we kind of move along, we talk about today's game, basketball. We're seeing how injuries are having an impact on
Yeah.
some of these playoff series. Rondo's out.
Yeah.
Who else got injured?
Blake
Just
Blake's
went on.
out.
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
probably going to cost
Guys
guys
like
like the
KD.
series, right?
KD.
Guys like Embiid, a whole
Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
What are you currently doing right now when it comes to injury prevention and how are you making sure your athletes are staying healthy? Because one of the things I noticed, even though Chris Paul had the thumb, he bounced back that from quickly, but I
yeah.
haven't seen him with the injuries prior to coming over from
Yeah.
New Orleans with the joints, the knees, and all of that.
Yeah. So that's the key. Like if you notice the injuries on the guys,
Yeah.
a lot of their injuries are below the hip.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
knees, ankles, toe injuries,
Yeah.
and it's happening to guys that are young.
Yeah.
Guys that are like 19, 20.
Exactly. And we're seeing it more now.
Exactly. More often than ever.
Yeah.
If you think back about 20, 30 years ago when guys were,
Guys weren't blowing their knees and having ankles
Exactly.
like issues like players today are.
even in the NFL,
Correct.
guys are like blown out their knees so many times,
Right.
And for me, what I do is I go back to what I know, which is the naturalistic way. Coming from Africa,
Yeah.
we used to walk around bare feet
Yeah.
at least half the day. For the
Walking
first,
in the bush.
yeah, you know what I mean? So,
but
yeah.
still, but still Byanta shoes.
Yeah. No. The thing is this: shoes are necessary. You have to. You have to
Yes.
wear them.
Yes.
The thing is, though, we all know that anything in life that you overdo
Right.
is bad, right?
Correct.
So if you wear shoes all the time while you're training and playing, then eventually what's going to happen is your ankle cannot be mobile,
Yeah.
right? If your ankle is not mobile, your knees are going to have to take the brunt of that. So your
Correct.
knees eventually are going to end up
I didn't know that.
taking too much of that weight,
Speed
right?
Yeah.
Did not-
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
This is why he called it speed doctor.
Exactly.
No, that's great.
And these things can also, as you say, even though we talked about this, athletes are being stronger, right?
Yeah.
And faster. A lot of the focus is on the supplements,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Or it's on getting
the
heavy,
weights.
hitting
Yeah.
the weights.
Let's hit the
And,
weights.
one of the things I think for me that allowed me to play, I can still play in my 40s, is that I always focused on stretching and making
Yes.
sure my joints were
That's
strong.
right.
So that was one of the things I noticed right off the bat when talking to you. I was like, this guy understands it. Because
Yeah.
I see a lot of people training just to be training.
Yeah.
Right? So can you talk about that a little bit too?
Rado foam roll before the show.
That's
like,
right,
I
baby.
got a show.
You
I
gotta
got a
foam
I
foam
think
roll.
the
Hey,
first show,
hey,
he
hey,
rolled up.
you-
No,
hey,
first
you
show, he
never
rolled
know.
up with a foam roll.
Hey,
he
hey.
really rolled up
Gotta
in the
stay
studio
loose,
with
man.
the foam
These young,
roll.
hey,
Yo, you got
I'm
to.
just like, what are you doing?
Nabie,
do it now before it's too late.
Hey, these young cats try to call you out. You gotta be ready to go.
Right.
Yo,
Any moment.
You know it. You know it. Yeah. I mean, and that's what you just said right there is huge because that's fundamentals. That's basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta have flexibility before you can go and have a tissue that's strong enough for you to pull.
Correct.
Because if you get it strong but it's not flexible, what happens to a rubber band that gets strong but it's kind of loose?
Gets
When you
brittle.
pull it, it's gonna tear.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you gotta be flexible before you get strong.
See,
Or you
man?
can do both at the same time. And then the other thing is, instead of only strengthening muscles, you also got to strengthen your tendons because your tendons are the ones that really hold the glue between the muscles and the bone.
Correct.
So if you don't strengthen the tendons and you strengthen the muscle is going to pull really hard on the tendon, so the tendon's more likely to break at that point too.
Man,
So
I
that's
could
another
have
one.
used you. I've had 2 ACL surgeries on
Yeah.
the same knee, And my first injury was when I was 19. So man, I could have used you back then. I'd be,
Absolutely.
y'all be doing the show about me.
Man,
Wait.
I never find that to be a normal thing to get a knee injury at 19. To me, it's just not normal. It shouldn't be happening.
Let me ask you this question. Do you see kids who are in college that get into the professional level, do they have to kind of start over with their regimen with you? Like, do you think that they need better, maybe trainers and things like that at that level? Honestly.
I have pro guys that have to start over
Yeah.
sometimes.
No,
you know?
I believe it. No,
so
yeah.
it's one of those things that I'm very passionate about what I do, extremely passionate. So it's very difficult sometimes when I get athletes that come or other trainers that are doing things a certain way that I feel like can be improved, and I have to kind of almost bite my tongue because otherwise you seem like the guy that's always like
Trashing them and
saying the
stuff.
opposite
Yeah.
of everything,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Poking
So-
holes and everything.
Yeah, but at the same time, for me as an athlete, especially as a sprinter, the only thing we care about is how are you going to run fast,
Yeah.
which is how are you going to get the results.
That's right.
We don't care about anything else in between that looks nice or explosive or sexy for Instagram. You know what I
Right.
mean? We just want to run fast.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I train an athlete, I only want to do what's going to make them better.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do stuff to sell them this
Show
or
off
sell them
and-
that or show off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my mindset has never changed as an athlete since that time. So it's it's one of those things you guys just gotta tread lightly.
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love it, man. So let the people know before we go to break.
Yeah.
How can they find you? How can I get faster, man? Like how can
Yeah, can you train us?
Yeah, I mean, come
Absolutely.
Ballers World Training.
They can find me on mostly my. You can go on my Instagram and follow me. Speed Doctor, speed__ doctor. You can also go to my website and find some of my info there, and
Yes.
either email me or for the ones that are a little bit more direct, I
Yes.
sometimes even am able to answer the text. I hope that doesn't backfire.
Right.
Well,
So if I text you, you're going to reply.
yeah, right. Well, you've got some amazing videos to our listeners. You can actually go to the Speed Doctor's page on IG and
Yes.
actually see him working live with the professionals, the technique that
Absolutely.
they're using. And before we go to break, I just have one final question. Being an entrepreneur isn't easy. Following your dreams isn't easy.
Yes.
And I know that there are a lot of people who listen and a lot of people here today at this day and time and going forward that are working hard to try to live the life that they want to live.
That's right.
How did you build the following that you have? I mean, you got over 300,000, 200,000 followers on IG. What was the secret sauce that started attracting these players? When did the traction hit for you?
I think it's mainly the fact that I give them information that they really wanted. So everyone else was doing just the explosive and sexy exercise, right?
Yes.
Entertaining,
Correct.
throwing stuff on the wall, jumping and doing flips and all that.
Yeah.
I just said, there's got to be people out there that just want to learn it
The
the right
basics,
way
the
so they can
fundamentals.
be effective, right?
Yeah.
So I just did that, and I did it one exercise at a time. And I described one movement at a time.
Yeah.
And I tell them exactly how to do it, how many times to do it, when not to do it.
Got it.
And because of that, with that, I also added some good looking stuff as well,
Yeah.
because people got to kind of be attracted to it.
Got to have that eye candy in there.
Right.
Exactly.
You got to have the props.
So yeah, with a combination of both, and I think also for the fact that I train pro athletes, that kind of lends some credibility to it.
Correct.
So with a combination of both of those, they kind of really liked it.
Yeah.
They started sharing it, and then it just grew from there.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks, from the Speed Doctor himself.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Thank
We'll be
you,
right
thank you.
back